humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough to be doing it too. I'm Bushka on Blitz. How you going? What's up? How have you been? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling groovy? Are you feeling ready to roll? Today we're going to be having a look at the M3 Stuart, a little 5 in a clip autoloader that runs around in Tier 4. It's one of the American lights. It's a line that's been a bit flogged. No one really loves it. It's a bit of a packet of poop tickets, as they say. That means like it's like a roll of toilet paper. I don't know. It's an Australian saying. Don't stress too much about it. It's a tank that's in a not much loved line at a tier that I don't really have a lot of time for. Now, there's a reason I get asked sometimes, why don't you play more Tier 4 or Tier 3? Why don't you do more low tier tanks? And that's a valid thing because people play low tier tanks. You can see here, I'm in a game with other people and we're playing low tier tanks. But I'm a bit of a snob and I do get a little bit cranky playing low tier tanks. And you're going to see why in the next couple of games. It generally comes down to the fact that it's hard to get a gauge on the tank unless the tank is supremely rubbish or supremely overpowered. In between, there's just a bunch of tanks where if you know what you're doing and you don't stuff up tremendously, you'll win like 70% of your games. And that's because Tier 4 is where people go to learn. And Tier 4 is where people go to learn and then they leave it alone. It's one of the reasons why Tier 4 actually has not much XP to get through, you know. You've only got, with this tank, you've only got a couple of modules. You've got 2 guns, you've got 2 engines, you've only got 1 turret, and you've got 2 sets of tracks. And then you're done. So you've really only got to research a gun, an engine, and a set of tracks. And you're done with this tank forever, if you like being done with the tank. But it's got some good things going for it. We're going to run through those now. Mainly, it is a light tank. Light tanks are brilliant because they go really, really fast, they're really, really agile, and they have exceptional camouflage. And that is the end of it. If you're driving a light tank, you've got something that no heavy, no medium, and no TD has. And that is the ability to run around and not lose any of your camouflage rating while you are driving the tank. That's hot diggity dog. Let's all be happy forever and ever because that's really what it's all about. And there's looks. Looks is a great little tank in of its own right. Very, very quick. Pre-nerf, it was just one of the most overpowered beasties you've ever seen. It got nerfed to hell. You can see my net is still screwed. I am having so many troubles with my internet provider at the moment. Don't use Telstra if you can at all help it. Just their customer service is absolutely crap and they are not providing me with the product I am paying for. As you can probably tell from the recent issues I've had streaming and my inability to really... anyway, off on a tangent. What else has it got going for it? Well, it's got 1,547 damage per minute, which is actually pretty good. And the autoloader is a little bit different from a lot of the autoloaders you're going to see at this tier, like the Lux runs, like the Leopard runs, like a lot of tanks run. They have autoloaders where there's 2 or 3 shots in the clip. And what that means is you press the button once and it goes pop, 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 which is great. You can fire 3 shots at one time. That's all well and good. But it's not much good if you want to be accurate at all. Because what happens is when you press the thing and it goes pop, 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 the reticle goes bloody everywhere. And no one has a good time with that. And this is what I'm talking about too with Tier 4. I mean, that M3 Lee is sitting there getting absolutely wrecked while he tries to get a shot off. And it's going to take him till 20 hit points to decide to move down. That medium 2, player 285034343334, whatever, he's just going to go and sit there sideways. I'm moving backwards and forwards, I'm in cover, I'm hull down, I'm in a light tank anyway, and I'm just harvesting, basically. Now, back to the light Stuart. Look at it take off here, like a rat up a drain pipe. It really does love a good get out and go. Gonna get up to nearly 60 kilometers an hour on the flat here, running engine boost, absolutely flying along. Brilliant. Can't fault it for the ability to turn heads. And its 37mm gun, well, it pumps out, you know, quite a bit of damage. It's got decent penetration, 56mm on your AP, 78 on your APCR. For an autoloader at Tier 4, that's not great. It's not really very good. But again, it's got 5 in the clip, which means you can walk out and you can drop 200 damage on someone if all 5 shells land. But like all autoloaders, it suffers tremendously from accuracy issues. You're going to see what I mean here. That is center mass of that turret. I'm going to put 5 shots in here. Now watch this using AP. 1, 2, We got 3 shots to hit out of 5 using AP. Now, that's actually pretty accurate for a tier 4 autoloader. I mean, obviously, if you fire APCR, this is not going to be an issue because APCR renders accuracy less important. And I have heard some rumors that there is going to be changes to preview ammunition. I'm not allowed to comment on any of that, but interesting. High caliber, second class, lots of damage, onwards and upwards. So it's fast, it's got a good enough gun. The dispersion is .370 running rations and vents. Running rations. By the way, I run vents, optics, and gun laying drive just because, look, you can run something else other than gun laying drive and I'd be just as happy with it. You could run a spall liner. You could actually run enhanced suspension. After the recent testing I did, I don't think that's a bad idea. Vents and optics and enhanced suspension on this would be pretty cool. It would get you moving quicker all the time. I'd run the 3 rations. You only get a choice of 3 rations at this tier anyway. You get your protective kit, you get your can of cola, and you get your standard fuel. It's a good looking little tank, and it goes like the clappers. It's hard to say it's really strong. I think it's a tank that is efficient at what it does. I think it's a tank that has some really good features, and compared to its the other tanks that it's running around against at tier 4, like the 38T, the Kehoe, the Lux, the Covenanter, the A20 and the Valentine 2. I think if I had to put it up against those tanks, it would be pretty much middle of the pack. I don't think it's as good as the A20. I don't think it's as good as the Lux. It's definitely different to the Val, which is a heavy tank. I think it's easily as good as the 38T and better than the Kehoe. And it's probably around about the same kind of tank as the Covenanter, which a lot of people do love, by the way. And that's about it. I would not call this tank a keeper. I think it's more than adequate to do what you need to do at this tier to get through without wasting a lot of time. It'll win enough games, and if you've got a sensible way of playing, like watch this. I'm up here. I'm just not going to go out to that T40. I'm going to wait for him to get wrecked by everyone else, and then I'm going to go out and hit the hetzer. And when he turns towards me, I'm going to get a shot on the top of the tank. There we go. And while I reload, I'm going to be nice and safe. And when the hetzer turns around again, I'm going to go for shots. And then I'm going to pull back. And he's going to miss. And I'm going to go out. I'm going to have some shots. Or I'll go down there and hit that BT-7 artillery. It really is just about playing in a sensible and realistic fashion. And not letting your head get the better of you and get wrecked. And that's why I can't really recommend this as an overpowered tank, but I can certainly recommend it as a good tank, and a tank that will fulfill the role that you're looking for, i.e. it can put out damage. It can certainly hold its own in a one-on-one with just about any other tank in its tier. It's nearly as mobile as a Lux, and it looks pretty cool as well. I got to say that straight up and down. Aesthetically, it's a tank that suits me. I used to play a game called World War II Online, or Battleground Europe. It got changed to later on, and the Stuart was in that game, and I really enjoyed driving the Stuart. It was a cracker. It was a French tank in those games, and I think it was the M3 Stuart. I could be wrong. But it was a crackerjack game, and it was. I really enjoyed driving this tank, and driving it in this game makes me feel a little bit nostalgic for that, because it really does have that feel about it. That very square-looking side. It's light, it's fun, it's a bit of fluff, it's frivolous, it's a good tank. It'll get the job done. Don't go looking for anything amazing in it. At this tier, there are other tanks I'd prefer to drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'd stick around driving them anyway. In my opinion, if you're playing a whole lot of tier 4, it's for the ease of use. It's less competitive at this tier if you're a really good player, and it's a lot easier to get through the day and put up some stats without having to deal with unicums running around in IS-7s and things like that And that's perfectly valid, and that's a good thing, and it's an easy thing to enjoy. And I think if you're enjoying the game and you're having fun, this is the kind of tank that may well suit you. Fast, good camo, looks the goods, and has a solid gun. There's a lot coming up, guys. The next couple of days are going to be very, very busy, so don't go anywhere. And as soon as we can convince Telstra to actually give me an internet connection, then we are going to be streaming our little hearts out all over the place, EU, NA, even Europe. So can't wait to see you guys out there and do the rest of the Ammo Wax series. Until next time, boys and girls, I'm Bushka on Blitz. Look after your families and stay safe on the battlefield.